It works, but just not like that. Sorry to tell you. And if somebody tells you that it does, they're lying. And they're just trying to sell you shit. Allegedly. So yeah, what was I saying? So basically they decided to move to Hawaii, and you know, it was just an amazing, like, oh, we're moving to Hawaii, and everybody was just like, it's not gonna work, because you have to think reality based. Like, you have to think realistically. That's the word I was looking for. You have to think realistically, and when building your dreams, it's something you have to plan and work towards. Period, point blank. That's it. So I'm about to take this apart. I'm making a bracelet, so I'm gonna use these pieces. That way I don't have to make any more. So you have to plan. You have to have money, like cosmic currency. Chief lied. Cosmic currency is probably real, yes, but he has a residual income, just like Rambo said in his last video. I saw the clip on Don't Turn Me Petty. He said something like, you know, you got people in Babylon that'll do this and do that and da 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 da, which is what Chief has. Like, he not just working based on donations. I don't think. And he had a residual income before. So, okay, so this is about them. So they're, you know, she's telling her story or whatever. Like, she's saying that no, so they moved to Hawaii, and they were living together or whatever, and you know, doing like work for pay or work for live or something, which is cool. I think that's cool. You know, if you don't, you know, temporarily, I think that's cool, you know, or if it's like really gonna be something, because at the end of the day, well, I know it's different for them, but at the end of the day, like, and it was different for them because at Carbon Nation, that was like a very forced thing. It was high anxiety situations, high stress situations. Like, he's always creating stress and drama and this and that. So I know that on top of not ever being able to be alone and have space to yourself, like, once you get your own space, once you get a taste of your own space, baby girl, ain't no going back, okay? Like, no, I like my space. I like my time to myself. I like to be like, I'm going. like I am now. Secluded in my goddess cave. Doing what I love. Making money off my dreams that I created and I work towards. That's how it works, literally. Like, straight like that. So, yeah, so they're talking, and basically they were staying with some guy, and I guess his house was dirty, and they cleaned it up, and the guy might have pretended like he was cool with it, but he really wasn't cool with it, which seems weird to me. Like, somebody come clean up my nasty house and be like, thanks. Not saying I have a nasty house. I'm just saying, like, if somebody come clean it, I'm gonna be like, you can stay. Like, you want to stay a little longer? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I appreciate stuff like that. Yeah, some people get offended, like, and that's where you have to apply the 4 agreements. My family is really based on the 4 agreements. That's like our little Bible. Don't take anything personal. So, I will not take that personal. So, one sec. So, and then I guess they wanted some food or whatever, because they were working for food. And, wait, we're working for food and room and board. And obviously, I'm sure they wanted like a bunch of vegan food and stuff like that. You know, makes sense. It's not that hard to eat vegan. You just get some potatoes, some rice, some vegetables, some fruit. You know, I don't know. That might be expensive. I don't know. That's not expensive to me. I feel like you could find that, especially living somewhere like that. Like, you should be able to. Like, wasn't y'all living on a farm? Like, you know. So, not saying that I know what their situation is. I'm just saying, like, I don't see how that, if that's the whole story that happened at the gentleman's house, then I don't see how that would be enough to get kicked out. So they're just talking, and like Rambo, like, he just sounds so entitled and confused and like delusional still. Like, I know it's gonna take a while for that programming to break, but it's like I just feel so close to it because my husband is also from South America. So like how here we have the luxury of like government assistance and Section 8 and stuff like that if we are like on hard times or whatever. Like, in my experience, it's not hard to get access to those services. Even over there, Hawaii is still America. Like, I looked this up because I was thinking about moving to Hawaii. But that's why I'm saying I can relate to their story so much, because I've been there. Like, me and my husband, years ago when we first started getting into this veganism and spirituality and this and that, and I can manifest anything, and da-da-da. And just not being business owners. Like, yeah, not being business owners and wanting to be business owners, like ambitious about being business owners, but like ignorant to what that even means. Like, we're literally just like, yeah, we can manifest anything. Like, because we were manifesting stuff. Like, we were getting money, but it wasn't enough to like build security. And when you have children, like I said, I'm a Cancer. So I strongly believe in security. I think Serenity is a Leo or maybe a Sag or something like that. No, Rambo is definitely a Leo. And it makes so much sense now. I think Serenity is either a Sag or a Leo sun sign. So it makes sense. Like, they are like that. Like, Leos are like that. Leos will just step out on faith and make it work. And sometimes they make it work. Sometimes they're a little overzealous and they be just feeling a little too strong, feeling it more than doing it, you know? Like, literally, I can relate to the story so much. I have a friend, like, was friends with somebody that this happened to, or she happened it to herself. So, because we were all planning to move to Hawaii, like, yeah, like, we're over this, we want to connect with nature, we want to live where it's sun and fruit and water and this and that. Like, yeah, we were like that. Like, and then, I'm sorry to mix my story in, but I feel like this can help. It's a testimony, commentary. So, oops, wrong one. So we wanted to move to Hawaii and, you know, just live that lifestyle, just be natural, free humans. But at that time, right at that moment, so my husband, he quit his job or whatever, and I was going to manifest all this money with my jewelry business, not really understanding inventory or how much to create or how to advertise. Still not really, but doing better. So not really knowing nothing about business, because you have to know about business in certain aspects or whatever, at least how to make money or whatever, how to create a product or something to sell, you know, to manifest your own reality. Like, money is not falling out the sky. That's a fact. That's facts. That EJ voice, or Ilya, whoever, Velvet. Your mama named you Velvet, I'm gonna call you baby. So, oh shit. What was I about to say? I'm sorry that my memory is like this, but it is. Yeah, so you have to know about business and stuff like that. So we were, you know, my husband quit his job, and I had got pregnant at that time, and we had money like for a few months of rent. Yeah, we had money for a few months rent, but once we started running out, you know, we would be like, okay, we're just gonna manifest some more. And sometimes money would come, yes. And so we were down to like our last for real, and we had expressed this to our landlord, and she told us that we could work, you know, we could work because she had some more properties or whatever, and we were living in a 2-family, so the people upstairs had moved and it needed some work. So she was like, okay, y'all can work or whatever and pay it off. At the time, I had just found out I was pregnant. Like, literally, I had just found out I was pregnant. And, sorry. She told my husband that he could, work for the, rent or whatever. And he had did amazing work on her homes. Like, he had put, all this whole tile flooring down. You can't see how big my space is, but, like, just like a whole apartment, basically. Like basically, like the kitchen and the living room, he put the tiling down for that whole thing. Nice, perfectionist, like, because he used to do construction work when he first moved here from Guatemala, in New York. And his uncle owns a architecture, like, construction business too, so he worked for them, so he knows how to do this stuff, like, better than any of the maintenance man or her brother or anybody that was coming up there to do it. Like, he killed that shit. And she told us that we could work on her other apartment too, so he had either painted the cabinets or something like that. And basically, long story short, she's gonna change her mind. Like, she went back on her agreement. We had a verbal agreement, and she's like, do y'all have the money? We're like, no. Like, we were planning to give her a certain amount. And she was like, okay, well, y'all owe me. And we was like, I'm not paying you or whatever. So I had just kind of like closed the door on her face, like, bye. Like, we had an agreement, and that's what it is. That's what we're giving. We're not giving you more. Like, what? So she called me a bitch. She was like, bitch. And I was like, literally, I'll say this again, I'm a Cancer. So for some reason, I don't know if other Cancers can relate to this, but just certain things trigger me, and I will go from 0 to 100. And I just snapped. Mind you, I was pregnant. So I just snapped, and she was like running out the driveway, and I went out there, and I'm like, I don't know who you think you're talking to, da, da, da. Like, I was just going off. Even my son is on the porch, like, eh, like, he can't even talk. He's like 2, maybe 3. He's like, eh. And this heifer grabs a knife and grabs a knife, tries to come at me with a knife. And my husband stepped in, like, what the hell? The lady who lived across the street from us, she's like, hit that bitch. We just like, what? Like, I didn't know what was going on. So yeah, so then that same day, she's gonna hire a rental attorney, or I'm not a rental attorney, a rental manager for the property or whatever, for a 2-family. Like, 2 families need managing. Okay. And this lady is gonna call me like, you haven't done this and you haven't done that and da-da-da. I was like, excuse me? I was like, yeah, we don't know each other, but let me introduce myself. This is my name, da-da-da. We had this agreement. She put out a knife on me today, and she was like, I'm pregnant. And she was like, oh my God, I'm so sorry. Like, da-da-da, I didn't even know. Like, that lady probably quit after that, because I'm just like, what? But looking back, it's like, yeah, she made that agreement, but at the end of the day, people still need money. Like, work ain't honest, but it paid the bills, okay? She still needed money, so I can understand that looking back, but just all that drama that went along with it, no, I can't get jiggy with that. Like, I just feel like she was completely wrong. She went back on her word. But anyway, so I'm just telling you, like, how much I can relate to Rambo and Serenity's story, but we didn't go the extra mile, which they're Leo, so that makes sense to me that they went that extra mile. Like, it's no way in hell I would, now I've said that, but that came to my mind. There's no way in hell I would move to Hawaii with the bare minimum, like a little bit of money, and think that, you know, I'm gonna just be able to survive or whatever and take care of my child just on faith alone. Faith without works is dead, okay? Magic without action does not exist, okay? So, yeah, like, they went out there with their baby or whatever, flowing vibes. They got a good situation, but this situation with Rambo and Serenity didn't work out. So they're telling their story or whatever, and they're on the beach, and they're talking about how the shelter that they went to, or the hostel that they went to, wouldn't take babies, and all of them were crowded. And Rambo was just like, and this is what I'm talking about, like, people in Babylon, people in Babylon, they're just so money hungry, and da-da-da. Like, people are not, yeah, people are money hungry, but this, oops, ouch, this is a hostel or whatever, so I'm assuming these are, like, decent, fairly decent people, like, not like a Walmart or something, like, where you, like, questionable, like, the people are questionable. Like, I'm sure this is, like, a small business. It's a house, like, it's a small business, it's a house, which is why I say you have to know about business. You have to understand business to be able to understand, like, why people can't just be letting you get by with the bare minimum sometimes. So he's like, this is the problem with people in Babylon, and I'm paraphrasing, like, I could be mixing up my words or whatever, but we have a baby and they won't even let us stay. So basically the place they were staying had like 10 to 15 beds in the home, and they have rooms. The rooms were booked, so if you have a baby, you have to stay in the rooms, which makes sense. Like, if these are paying adults, they probably don't want to sleep in a room with a crying baby. Like, you can't expect people to care about your situation. Like, they have to care about their situation too. Like, that's what self-love is about. Sometimes self-love doesn't always include the plans of somebody else. Not saying that I would do that. I would absolutely let somebody stay in my business, you know, if they had a baby or whatever. I would make that exception. I would. But you can't expect that. That is called entitlement. And you're not entitled to shit. We all out here have to work. None of us can abandon our responsibilities and just go out in the middle of nowhere and be like, oh, yes, we're a part of the frequency. We are the higher selves. We are reflections. So that means donate to us. And people are going to be like, you better reflect your ass to work. You grown ass motherfucker. And get it how you live, okay? Period. So, that just irked me. Like, that just irked me. Because, like I said, I can relate to, you know, what they're saying or whatever. I felt the same way. Like, I don't understand why she can't just take the money. I mean, why she is going back on her word. Not saying that she should not, she absolutely should not go back on her word. But I'm just saying, like, people need money. Like, people got bills. We all got bills. We all trying to make it. So for us to expect her to, you know, for us to even ask that in the first place after we have a rent to pay is just too much, you know? Like, and I can admit that, like, with ease, like, it's too much. Once you get bills and stuff, and you know, like, you see, like, if for yourself, you can't depend on somebody, then, you know. So he's like, yeah, the place we came from, you know, we all looked out for each other. And that is a lie. That is a lie. And that's where I know that, you know, they're still working on their deprogramming and stuff like that, because y'all did not look out for each other. Like, yeah, y'all get the illusion that y'all looked out for each other, but if y'all looked out for each other, you would not have been staying there for 1, 2, 3 years, and you helped build the business. You put money into money, time, and energy, because I know some of them over there come with money, and he let y'all go out with nothing. Like, and then yell at y'all for using y'all fucking social medias for asking for donations. Like, I see, like, in the beginning, when y'all first get out, like, yes, we just want y'all out. Like, we just want y'all safe. You know, like, we just want you away from this monster. But, you know, once you start getting on your feet, you have to use your resources. Y'all got donations. Y'all could have been staying somewhere in America. You could have been staying with your family. Like, Hawaii is, I'm sorry, y'all. Hawaii is highly expensive, is what I'm saying. So, just going out there on a faith and a dream is, like, too much to ask for. Like, it's too much. Like, y'all could have, like, somewhere in Ohio, if y'all got enough donations to get y'all to Hawaii, which I'm sure it costs about I think it costs about $1,500. I don't remember, but I think it cost them about, no, actually, I know it costs more than that to get to Hawaii. I don't know how they got to Hawaii or whatever. I'm sure they flew, and I looked up flights for just my family of 5, and it was like $4,000, and I was like, might have to vacation somewhere else. That's a lot just for the flights. Damn. Like, that's just the flights. Should have flew before y'all got older. So, yeah, so the money that they spent on the flights could have went to prolong their journey. You know, they would have had more money. Like, people made investments in you guys after decisions that you made. Like, literally, nobody owes y'all anything. What's the Vibes or Keys, whatever, he said it. He said it out his own mouth. Like, don't feel sorry for nobody there. They choose that and da-da-da. He didn't want to donate a damn $300,000. None of us out here, not me, for damn sure, got $300,000 to start our lives with. And I'm just wording that nicely because that's not even the whole story. But I don't know the whole story, so I'm not going to act like I know. But, yeah, so for y'all to have that kind of money and give it to this guy, Nature Boy, to build a dream that he didn't show y'all no business plan for, which is why I said you have to understand business to kind of, like, be indulged in this lifestyle. I feel like it. So, because that would have been a red flag. Like, okay, yeah, so we're investing $300,000, and I don't even know about business like that. And I'm not about to use the right terms, but I know you're going to have to show me a business plan and some properties that we don't own. You know, what kind of food you trying to build. Are you trying to build piping, electricity? Like, I need to see a plan to give you $300,000. I'm not going to give you $300,000 for you to start a church and we renting a house and living out the backyard in tents. No. And that ain't got nothing to do with Serenity. I'm just saying they had access to much more money than us and worked harder than us. Again, understanding business. You should have been able to tell that man that I've been working for you for 3 years. You owe me this amount of money, and so on and so forth. Like, straight up. Like, people should not be leaving there. People should not be going there investing. Like, people invest their financial aid and their military checks and their SSI and all kind of stuff. Like, he loved a motherfucker with a residual income. He loved them. Which the sister just revealed to us, who was planning to go over there. So, you know, you should not be investing that kind of money and not having anything to show for it. Period. But if you understood business, you would know that, because nobody who's a business person is going to invest that much money into somebody for no reason. So, yeah. So, to expect us out here in Babylon, who y'all love to convict, as Vibes explained, that y'all, he was humble or whatever. Flow, I'm sorry. He was humble or whatever, like, we're not going to condemn you for not being vegan or condemn you for this, because, Nature Boy loves to condemn. But beg. The most beggingest, condemning ass nigga I ever seen in my life. And, yeah, y'all been belittling the hell out of us over here. Now y'all need us, which doesn't mean anything. People have hearts and they're gonna help you. People have helped, but y'all have to be smart about that. Y'all gotta be smart. So for you to be homeless now, talking about sleeping on a beach with your baby in Hawaii, in a tent, because y'all are so used to the tent lifestyle, it's like crazy. Like, no, y'all have to have something better than that, and barely want to answer questions. Like, y'all gotta come better than that. Like, you have to have respect for us Babylonians, because that's what self-love is. Us Babylonians are practicing self-love, because we are not deciding to go live with the motherfucker so he can belittle and enslave and exploit us. So we know, like, okay, we either have to play the game to win it, play this paper game, play this, working for the man game, and doing this and doing that until we get to where we want to go, or you have to create your own reality, which is the route we went. But we still ended up having to work, and I'll finish telling my story too. But, excuse me, sorry. So yeah, but Serenity was much more level-headed than Rambo was being. Like, Rambo is still just like in La La Land, and it's just like, no, like, you can't say that y'all were looking out for each other. Y'all were, like, you got used and abused over there. Nobody was looking out for nobody but themselves. Like, it might have appeared that way, even to yourself it appeared that way, but that's not what it was. That was a cult. And, just crazy. And y'all over there having children, and the fact, like, you want to be like, people want to call us bums and this and that, but we're connected to nature and people support us on that and da-da-da. Like, nah, shoddy. We over here connecting with nature too. We doing the same thing y'all doing. Y'all not doing anything different. Like, you have to have a plan for that stuff. You have to make a plan. You have to make a plan and work towards it. So, I just want them to think a little more deeply about it. You definitely need to consider coming back to the States, because even if you do find a situation, like, people are not going to let you, like, live in their house forever. Like, y'all are still stuck in this cult mentality, which I get it. It's going to take a very long time to break that trauma, but people are not going to just let you live in their home forever. And you shouldn't want to live in somebody's home forever if you have a child, because you want to raise your child the way you want to raise your child, not the way, like, I mean, I get it, people do communal living and stuff like that, but I'm sorry, we Americans, and we are used to our own space. Like, we're accustomed to having our own spaces. So, I know that communal living works, and that's something that they're really interested in. It can work, but I just don't see that happening, living out there where it's so high to live. The cost of living is so high. Like, these people have to pay bills. Like, regardless if, like, they can get mad about anything and you're not really contributing anything. Like, I just feel like that's another form of being enslaved. And Serenity did say that. She was just like, she didn't say that, but she was just saying, like, she keeps running from her problems, and that's the kind of people that are over there at Carbonation. I don't know if she said that and I thought that, or I thought that, but that's basically what it is. Like, those people over there at Carbonation, they're running from something. So they don't love themselves enough to realize that they're subjecting themselves to abuse and heartache and stress and pain because they've enslaved themselves to this guy, and he's telling them that they're getting cosmic currency, but that's not true. Like, he's making money off of you guys and just feeding you guys and everybody with all kind of BS to enslave you. You have to have my mind. We are one mind, one band, one sound. One band, one sound does not mean one. Oh shit! Does not mean one mind. God damn it. So yeah. And back to my own story, because we were trying to. So I'm sorry. I don't know what the frick is wrong with my voice. Hold on 1 second. I don't talk that much. I don't be talking that much, I guess. Sorry. What was I about to say? Oh, my own story. So yeah, like, I get that you want to be like,